All right, in the last video, we learned about the email suite. Today, we'll learn about the landing suite at Convertbloom app. First things first, log into your Convertbloom account. You will come to you by clicking on My Apps. You can come to the integrations dashboard, which will show you the access to the various apps that you have access to. Uh, Today, we learned, like we discussed, about the pages. So we'll click on Manage Pages. That'll take you to your landing page. The first page is this is a sample dashboard. What how many number of landing pages you have, how many leads you have collected from those landing page forms, how many landing pages are published and how many are not. Device based leads, I have all the leads coming through desktops, but if you have mobile phone, Mac, it'll show up. And then browser based leads, well, how many of them are through Chrome and so on and so forth. So that's the dashboard that you'll get. Landing pages is where you'll create landing pages. As you can see, I have created two sample landing pages. One is published, one is unpublished. It's an important factor. So a published landing page will always show up, right? So I just created a sample landing page with a form to collect the leads. So that's available. But if you go to a non-published, it'll always show 404 not found, right? So we by default we do not enforce HTTPS. That you have to enforce if that is what is required for you. So how do you publish it? Go to settings. Just here you'll have to click on publish and save. When you go to it, you can either add a subdomain, which is by default, or you can add your custom domain, right? So if you add your custom domain, you'll have to link that to this host value typically, and you can put the custom domain here. You can also do multiple setups for integration, right? So if you have the Convertbloom subscription, of course, you'll have access to the native CRM. So you can always select what will be the next follow up of these leads. These will be automatically captured. The forms that you create, those leads will be automatically captured in the Convertbloom CRM. You can provide, so there are different statuses that you can create. We'll show you how you create the statuses in CRM. And then you can link the status ID and the lead source ID to track them, that they came from a certain landing page. You can provide like one number for all the landing page leads, or if you want to track different source IDs for different type of landing pages, I think there is a maximum of 10 lead source types that you can create. And within that, you can play around. Here you can add a webhook URL, which will it could be a Pabli URL or a Zapier URL, or in Convertbloom also we're trying to create certain URLs ourselves. So those will you can link. So a form is submitted, all those details will go in a JSON form into this webhook URL. Then you can design the form. After form is submitted, what happens? Do you just go to a default thank you page, or you are redirected to another URL? This way you can design your flow. An autoresponder can be added, like as soon as a uh, form is submitted, you send a text message or with certain parameters. Integrations is again critical. We are providing two types of integration. So this is the native integration, which is send.convertbloom.com API. So you have to provide your API token, and then it will show up all your mailing list. In the previous video, we showed you how to go to send at convertbloom.com, and you can get the mailing list, and then you have to map the fields. So typically in the form, you have to make sure that you have the same names as your the field names in your mailing list. That way the fields will be merged. Same happens in MailChimp as well, right? So you provide the API key, and you can merge. We are providing that as an extension. Font settings, you can provide the fonts, some ACO titles. Most importantly, you can also add custom code here, right? So this could be your Facebook pixel, your Google Analytics pixel, or if you have Google AdWords, you can provide that pixel, and so forth. So that's how you will set up the basic setup, right? Then you go to builder. this is where you can work on designing the form, right? So here is the form, here is a video, there are different sections that you can add. I will go into a detailed video on creating a nice looking landing page, but this is essentially, this shows the various things available. You can add a call to action block here if you want, right? Etc, etc. So once that is done, you go back here. So you can publish, or you can test those. For example, in this test template, I'm sure I've added certain webhooks, etc. You can take you to the settings and show that. So if you go to domain, this is where you can add the webhook. I've given some example webhooks here. The CRM lead status, etc. have been provided. If you go to, do I have any integrations? Let's see, did I add any integrations? No, I haven't added any integrations. So but you can provide your, and then you can see all the leads that you captured through the landing pages. And of course, if you have selected to sync with the CRM by providing these details here, the next follow-up, it will check that all three are available. Only when you have checked all three, provided some fields for all three, it will automatically sync to your CRM. You can create products and orders here as well. I'll show you how you can set that up. You have to go to your account settings, and you have to add your PayPal or Stripe payments, right? So here I've not added anything, but you have to add that. Once you have added it, the PayPal client secret and client ID, right? So then you can link those two products, right? So you can create a product and provide the currency, etc. And when you go to a landing page, if you go to the builder, what you'll see is there is a payment type, right? So here you have Stripe or uh, uh, PayPal. So you can add a Stripe button, for example, here, and it'll automatically take your details from your Stripe settings, right? So you can just link a product here if you have created, and once you have linked the product, when they make the payment by Stripe payment, it'll get paid against that product. We'll show you more details of how to set up e-commerce. This was just a quick snapshot, right? But we'll show more of you and go into more details of the blocks. If you have, so go ahead and create your pages, and let us know. So just maybe the last few, this just links you back into the various Convertbloom apps so that you don't get lost. So just go ahead and create your landing pages and get going.